I understood it as you didn't look at problems waiting for me to, open all of them. That would be worse. Let's start in 2 minutes solving the problems. This is timer until I start. First one solved in 20 seconds. Maybe I would be able to solve 2 problems within that timer. One more minute. Oh, we need some coding environment. Actually, no. I will not run my virtual machine because I'm scared. As you maybe saw, I'm one of problem setters for this round that will happen in 2 days. And actually, I don't want to open even my Genie, risking that something will go wrong. So today I will use, I don't know, online ID or something like that. I don't even want to, open directory, hit ls, anything like that. So let's not do that. I will code in browser or something. Yeah, cpp.sh is fine. I usually use ID1, but I guess cpp is fine. Okay. Let's go. This is a Codeforces ID. I usually use ID1. Yeah, ID1 should be fine. Because I don't want to spoil problems from the round that will happen in 2 days. Custom invocation doesn't color the code. Alright, everything is fine with the stream. Yes, we are live on YouTube, Twitch, everything works. Binary decimal if it's positive, and everything is 0, 1. For example, 11 or 101 will be. Write n as the sum of binary decimals. Easy and standard. I would even say that I already saw it in the past. If you see digit 5, if you see 5, you will write it as 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. Nothing interesting. Smallest number of binary decimals. It will be just biggest digit. Am I right? I thought that we need to print them. Yeah, so for all test cases. Where am I from? Poland. I think we prefer to go with a string, right? For reading. Or n. What's easiest? Now, let's go with n. Well, n is not 0, grab the last digit and maximize the answer with that digit. This way you will find the maximal digit in n. Hop, hop. Upping his title game. You mean that I mentioned tourist? Typing speed? I don't think I guess I'm average among the top in Codeforces. maybe above average, I'm not sure. If you take a random Codeforces user, then I agree, or a random programmer. I think I'm in top 50% of typing speed. But if you look at top 100 or so, I'm not that sure. Why do I use ID1? Because I don't want to spoil anything from the contest that will happen here in 2 days, where I'm one of problem setters. I'm very scared that I will show you some files, some codes that I'm not supposed to show you. So, you know, preparing a contest doesn't go well with streaming, or like live streaming. Recording a video would be fine. Okay, A done. B. I'm doing only easy problems today. How many problems have I prepared? That's not... If something isn't mentioned in the blog, it means it isn't public information. It's not that you should have any extra knowledge over people who don't watch my streams, so I will not talk about it at all. Birthday. There is a rectangle H by W. Put a plate or keep a cell empty. Guest needs to be next to a plate. Oh, plates only on the edge of the table. By the way, if you understand something like this, so when they said you can only put plates on the edge of the table, you don't need to read the formal definition. I here glanced over it. I saw first and last row, something, formally this equality, and I understand what's going on. I don't need to read word by word all of that. How to be read in Codeforces faster? Practice more. Be smart, I guess. No to plates with common side or corner, so plates cannot touch. Oh, okay. We need to put maximum number of plates. Corners will be tricky, right? Why did I close ID1? Let's think about it. Those 3 cells, only one plate can go there. So we will just assume that one plate will go there. Actually, I think that always we should use this corner. It's the best. Yeah, among those 3 cells, if you use this one for a plate, then you anyway cannot use the other 2, but also this cell becomes forbidden. So I will always use corners for plates. And then there is for sure an easy formula here. If H is, what's the smallest possible size? 3. Okay, so I can populate all the corners indeed. Why no virtual machine? Because I don't want to spoil problems from a contest 2 days from now. How many neighbors? No, 0. One of my friends lives in the same building, so maybe I should say one neighbor. I live in a city. In a city, you don't really know your neighbors. If H is at least 5, then you get +1 to the answer. So we can say H minus 3 over 2. For 5, for the first time, we will get +1. Then for 7, you will get +2. Yeah, seems reasonable. Right, test cases. For the second time, I'm not careful reading the statement, and I did. In the previous problem, I thought that we need to reconstruct the answer. Here, I thought that it's enough to just say what's the maximum number of plates, and instead we need to reconstruct the answer. All right. How's life going in Poland? I don't know. The only thing that can differ between countries, I would say, is weather and COVID cases. So COVID isn't that bad right now in Poland. Everywhere it's too hot. I heard that Canada is burning, so Poland isn't that bad. We don't have wildfires right now. This problem 800 rating. Maybe the rating is affected by what type of round we have. This is combined, and maybe then the problem becomes underrated. I created a two-dimensional array for true if something is applied. At the end, I will print it, of course. Let's do the printing. If is played, print 1. There is 0. By the way, I would use different characters instead of 0, 1. Dot and P would be more visible, like this. This drawing is easier to read than this one. I'm not claiming that it's extremely important. I don't know. In all corners, let's smartly iterate over corners. For row 0 and the last one, for columns 0 and the last one, I say that there is a plate there. And now I think always if I can put a plate somewhere, I will do it. Which is tricky. I guess I can do it like that. Right. There's row 0, then 1 skipped, 2, then 4, 6, and so on. The last thing I can do is at h-2 I can say that there is a plate. Same for last column. But I don't like this code. There must be an easier way. Maybe the statement would be, maybe the problem would be a bit easier, so more fitting the slot of B, if the input was square. Fewer opportunities to make a mistake. Let's see. Oh, well, this will not compile. From tourist stream, he said that this problem accepted more than one solution. Oh, obviously. This is... I saw a discussion in comments. This is what you can for sure call a constructive problem. More than one approach, okay. Yeah. There is more than one approach. Should I put additional empty lines? I can, I'm allowed, so let's do that. So I would see the output. Nope. Something is clearly wrong. H-2 is second last row. I need to say third last. Like that. Because H-2 is just before H-1. Okay, works. Let's count once here. 3, 5, 8. 3, 5, 8. like the new style of Codeforces output, inserting the lines. It's convenient, sure. I don't see how it's a problem for Java or Python, because you still can do whatever was required before, it's just that more type of output is accepted. More types, more patterns. B is done. We move on to problem C. K minus K over 4 stages. High scores. 100 stages means it means that 75 will be used. Fine. You want to beat him with smallest number of new stages. Maybe some binary search. If they ask about minimum something, I mean smallest possible something. And in every additional stage, I would get 100 points, my opponent would get 0. And it will be just about computing what is the score in that case. Or maybe this is not monotonic because every new stage is discarded after every 4 new stages. So I'm not sure if it's true that if I win after adding 1 stage, I will still win after adding 2 stages. Linear search will work, I guess. I guess so. Oh yeah, if I add n stages, then exactly the number from the input, and all of them will be 100 versus 0, then for sure in total I'm winner, or maybe there is a tie. If he won with me 100 to 0, all the previous stages. So we can be linear here. But in that case, the problem becomes quite easy, isn't it? Or doesn't it? Do I want to use sorted vector or some kind of heap? Sorted vector is enough. Okay. Test cases. Of course, there are test cases. If my scores are 10, 15, and 20, and I will now keep getting maybe 25 as well, 27 and 30. Then skipped are 1/4, initially this one. When I add here 100, still only 10 is skipped, so then my answer is increased by 100. Then another 100 will actually will make me lose this value. What about my opponent? Let's say he has some big values to start with. Like that. Initially this is skipped. And then he gets another 0. Now 30 gets counted and 0 is skipped. Once I do one more operation, then actually here 0 and 0 are skipped. At some point only zeros will keep getting skipped. To maintain his vector, I will keep this sorted thing in this, and I will say kind of count zeros, count skipped, and thanks to the comparison of those two, I will know what prefix of that is excluded. I think Instead of updating and knowing where the current index is, I will just... No, let's do it. Not sure. Is it okay to keep index to last skipped, in this case 30? Whenever we just get a 0, this last skipped is shifted to the left by 1, so I need to count for this value. Genie dead? Damn it. First I read it as Gennady dead, sorry, Gennady dead. That would be bad. Repeating the same information. I'm not using Linux and the Genie today, not to spoil anything from Harbor space round in 2 days. There is Codeforces round in 2 days where I'm one of organizers, and I'm scared, very scared that I will, afraid that I will show you something, some code. How many questions in my whole life? 4,000. But you will submit that with the title in the first line. Let's see if I remember to remove it. Do I do the same thing here? Skipped. Here I basically maintain number of skipped. What's the input format? Second line contains A's, third B's. And they can be up to 100, so no overflows. Int is enough. Maybe like that. No, never mind. Read A, read B. How to improve and should I be worried? Improve by solving problems. I think those that you currently solve are fine. Read this. Sort both. For B, I think I want to do prefix sums. Nah. The amount skipped is the floor, right? Like that. I need to maintain sum of A and sum of B. I could just maintain the difference, but I think that's easier to understand and to then debug if needed. Can I hide this? No. Can't. I'm not doing that. Plus equal A of I, B plus equal well, this we will do something. We print what's the number of extra rounds. Yes, we do. I'm still not convinced that binary search works here. I think it will not work because of this rounding of division by 4, But linear search must work, because I will try every possible next added. I claim though that binary search doesn't work. Maybe I'm wrong. Should I do n+1? Seems scary. This is the special case where I add a new element, like here 0, but also skipped increases by 0. In this case, I don't modify b. What about a? I add always 100 to the end, so always a plus equal 100, and so then nothing else changes here. There is sometimes one more skipped. So if there is one more skipped, then a decreases by this skipped value, and that's skipped. Like that. 8 divided by 4, that's 2 minus 1. Yeah, if I skipped in total 2, then this is the last one. If this fits in the input, then actually it's impossible that it doesn't. Is it? I think so. This is what we do with A. With B we do nothing, but else. With A we do nothing, but with B we do something, right? Because we get a new 0. By default something like this happens. We need to figure out what element now lost the state of being skipped in B. N plus added divided by 4 is how many skipped there is currently, minus the number of added, because that's how many zeros we have at the beginning. Alright, and I need to do something like this, plus minus 1. And we now get this element. Is this correct though? Let's say n is 6 and added is 1. Then this is 1 minus 1, that's 0. Is this correct? I think it's correct. I should be 0. With this kind of problem, I won't be surprised with infinite loop. Who said that I will submit with... I think somebody said I will forget about this, or I will submit without it. Well, I didn't submit. I really forgot about this comment, but I didn't submit. Can you explain your approach? I explained as I went through the problem, but because I can summarize. I guess that 18 summarized my solution, right? Just next element in decreasing order, that's easier said than done. Maybe I should maintain some kind of index. Yeah, my solution is roughly sort numbers from A and from B, figure out at the beginning how many are skipped, thanks to that compute what are the initial sums, and then see what happens after you add one more 100 to the first vector and 0 to the second vector. How the skipped elements change, whether some element is not skipped anymore or is skipped now. Do you think with practice I will get better? Yes. If you with practice are getting worse, then there is something wrong you're doing. You can also binary search, which might be a little bit easier. I don't think we can binary search. So it's true that it's monotonic. It isn't obvious to me because of the rounding. If we do just one type of things, like this type, then I agree. Because in A, you get more and more. Let's say you get 100 minus 15. Then you get 100 minus 10. You get more and more. In B, you lose 30. Then if there's like 10 here, you will lose 10 and so on. It lose. Oh no, you gain. So you gain 30, then you gain 10 and so on. But when we have divisibility by 4, something completely different is happening. Wait, in this case, it doesn't change. AI doesn't matter. Most of the time this is happening, and we just look at BI. So we either add A minus some element AI, so the value A minus B increases by 100 minus AI, for some I of course, or by BI for some I. Those are two different indices, let's say J. Oh, both values are non-negative. Yeah, so still it increases. Doesn't matter whether this value will be smaller or bigger than this one. Never mind then. Beef meat, good luck tomorrow in your interview. Wish you all the best. If you could do it in K rounds, then use the same scores and add another 100 for you, 0 for them. I mean, 100 for you, 0 for them. It's not obviously not worse, Gupta, because it's not that you added 100 and subtracted 0. Like something more complicated is happening here, but yeah, I agree. The difference A minus B either will increase by this value, or it will increase by this value. Plus 100. But that's not even needed. I'm just looking at the code and seeing what happened. In practice, I'm able to solve 1500 rated problems. Don't ask your friend to register you to a contest and don't realize that it's a real contest. So you would do harder problems. I don't know. See what is different for you while you practice and while you participate in a contest. Maybe you worry too much. Hi, Dam. C done. Now problem D. For every I, we assign BI. B is a permutation of numbers from 1 to n without, how is it called, constant element? There is a name for this, if pi is equal I. What's my job status? programming teacher. Stressful situations. I don't know, I'm not a psychologist. We have some wishes. So we have nodes with arrows going out of them, and we need to satisfy as many of them as possible. I think we can greedily do that. Let me do the drawing, but first, how do I... Okay, here we go. I'm extra careful now not to reveal something confidential. Would be funny now to forget that I've turned the screen off and now continue like that for 20 minutes. Got the offer from one of the best hedge funds in my country. That's great to hear. Congrats. Hedge funds usually pay a lot, so I think you're set. Maybe not for life, but still. How to become a pro coder like me? Practice. They have requirements. Maybe 4 wants a free, 5 wants a free, 1 wants 2, maybe 2 wants 1, 3 wants 2. What do I do with that? Obviously, those 2 cannot be satisfied at the same time. Those 2 cannot be satisfied with at the same time. But for example, that the yellow thing should be one of optimal solutions. If we satisfy most nodes, then what happens with one last node that pointed to something? But now sadly, if we first decided about this cycle, now we cannot satisfy this requirement of his, and instead we need to use a forbidden loop, self loop. Question bugs me for 2 months. You know, if a problem can bug you that long, maybe solve problems with editorials. It will be much easier for you, because then you can always look up the solution. If your question is from tourists around, then sure, say which problem it is. But I doubt you think about tourists' problems for the past 2 months if their round happened a few days ago. How do we fix this situation? Well, I guess that we didn't use this edge because somebody else wanted to go to 4. So we look who went to 4, and instead we relink that. We say that, okay, you are not going to 4. Instead, you will go to 5, and 5 will go to 4. So iterate through the input. For everybody, if possible, go just like they want to that edge. Then go through the input again. For every node, just go wherever. And there might be one last node such that it goes to itself. If we have 2 such nodes, then we could avoid that, of course, by really linking them with each other. And in this last situation, we need to see who, if 5 goes into 5, but it would want to go into 4, we see who went into 4, and we switch. Let's type this down with notes. At the end, x goes into x, or shorter like that. Find preference. What was the name of preference in the statement? Preferences are A. Find who goes into the preference of x, y such that y goes into ax. In this drawing, this is ax, this is y, and do y goes into x, x goes into ax. So 3 goes into 5, 5 goes into 4. Okay, I'm ready to code. Took me much longer to come with this solution. Well, I hope that if I have better rating than you, then I hope that I can solve a problem faster. I think it would be unusual if that wasn't the case, right? They use from 1 to n. I actually will use from 1 to n as well. This will be the answer, so at the end I'm going to print it. I'm 1700, didn't expect you to solve it that much faster. What happened to Gini? It's explained here. Well, 1700 and 3000, it is a huge difference, right? There should be a difference of speed. Maybe not with easy problems, I'm not sure. We go through the input in any order. If available, so if, let's say, taken of AI is 0, then we do BI is AI. So we say we do an edge from I to its preference, and we say taken of AI is I. We say who took AI. So this is the reverse edge. Second iteration. I need to find everybody who's not taken. Iterate again. If b of I is still 0, it means that earlier couldn't satisfy the preferences of this guy. Now we need to say from I to anything not taken. If, first of all, I don't think it can happen that nothing is not taken. If we don't have an edge from I, then for sure there is somebody who doesn't have an edge going in. Didn't think about it as a graph? I think it's quite obvious that they describe a graph, right? Every permutation is a graph. It's called, I think, functional graph, function graph, where from every node you have one edge. It's even stronger here because it's a permutation. But the graph interpretation is very common for something like that. If not taken back is equal I, so that's the forbidden case, then I will swap it with one other element. This almost always will fix the situation. If not taken has at least 2 elements, then this did something. Now, if not taken back is still I, it means that there is just one element, and this is the last thing. This is the last special guy, and we need to do this. I'm trying to do eye to eye. J is taken of AI. This is like Y here. And now we do B of J is I, B of I is A of I. Else and that to say that we get rid of this guy. Also, we should update taken, but I think it won't matter anymore because not taken is empty now. So we shouldn't encounter anybody else. But normally we just do if I is get back. That should do the job. This one, please. It's not from tourists round, and today I'm solving problems from tourists round, so no. Cheaters never destroy my round in Division 2-3, but always in Division 1+2. How did cheaters destroy your round? I find that very surprising. That's clearly wrong, those zeros. B. I highly doubt that cheaters destroy your round. I even have the same output. Can solve leaked problems? What? Well, you shouldn't try to solve leaked problems. There shouldn't be any leaked problems in the first place. Sometimes, yeah. I don't get what you're complaining. It sounds like you're one of the cheaters, you got access to a leaked problem and you couldn't anyway solve it. Am I printing something wrong? The value. I'm missing the value. Number of fulfilled wishes. Well, I can count here, I guess, how many BIs are equal to AIs. I think that I could also count them after the first phase. But it seems safer to do it this way. Yes, you can in C++ do this. When you do equality or any kind of condition, like smaller than, it is a Boolean value, false or true, or as an int, it can be treated as 0 or 1. This is 1 if there is equality. He means leaked solution. I can solve leaked problems. Well, still, how is it destroying your round? If you're saying that there are 10 people who got above you by cheating, then okay, so what? Unless you got 11th instead of first place, I don't see how it affects anything. What do you think is your place and what it would be without cheaters? Because I think the difference is very small. Value number of distinct integers. Well, in the permutation there are n numbers, distinct numbers. Solution using matching. Well, I guess it's a perfect solution, but greedy should be correct too. I hope. The constraints are low, right? Except that, yay. They are high, so with matching you will have a hard time. Maybe it's enough. There might be a lot of cheaters. Okay, Might be. But it seems that you claim that they destroyed a round for you, and yet you don't know how many of them there are. Maybe there are 5 of them. Number of distinct integers in the given array. Timothy, we are given a permutation. No, that's not true. I'm the stupid one here. Yeah, I think you're right. It's the number of distinct numbers in the input. That because the first phase will get those correct. So indeed, I think the first number is the number of distinct numbers in the input. 2 is number of distinct numbers here. 4 is the number of distinct numbers there. 2, 4, 5, 6. Solutions of the contest are shared. Are you asking me if there are any cheaters in the world? Yes, there are. But I highly doubt that they affect anything. Otherwise, why would they participate? They are incentivized to cheat only if they are to win something or get high rating, high enough that it would affect them in other areas of life. But people in the top, I don't think they cheat, or at least regularly. So, what do you think about Indian cheaters sharing hints to the problems on Telegram groups? What can I think? What is the choice here? I can hate them or very much hate them? Then I guess I hate them. Here you go. If you're asking me if I condone this behavior, then sure I do. But that's obvious. When my performance is bad, they are making my rating worse. Then here you go. They're making your rating worse, so next time it will be easier for you to get your rating higher. The lower your rating, the bigger your chances are to get a plus. You're welcome. And it seems, I think that cheaters behave independently from your performance, whether it's bad or good. Moda got -1 because of removing cheaters. The same thing happened for Marcin Small. You don't condone? Wait. Definition. Oh, I don't condone. Sorry, guys. I didn't. I thought this word means the opposite. That got, well, a bit embarrassing. I don't condone their behavior, okay? I didn't try to say that I accept that cheaters do what they do. English is hard. No, I'm not condoning any cheating. You are. And I also don't condone making any clips from this stream. I don't condone it. Condemn? Yeah, maybe that's the word I was looking for. Condemn. Why did they create those two words? Done. This is like done, as in D-O-N-E?
Condone.
Condone?
Condemn.
Condemn. Oh. Okay. English sucks. I thought I was being edgy. No, I was being not native English speaker. Okay, I'm not a cheater. Thank you for figuring that out. So, out of those two words, I will choose condemning the cheaters. Also, why is N silent? Why is it there if it's silent? I mean, well, why do you put a character there if you don't want to pronounce it? This done. No, it's 1 hour. I said I will solve AD and I think I will stop here. British haters are coming. Before looking for help, I described this here. As long as you're not stuck, keep working on the problem. All right. Thank you guys for watching. There is this... Fuck. My stream isn't here. It was here at the beginning. I saw it. When I go live, 10 seconds after, like, you know, half 5 past the full hour where my stream was scheduled, after a minute it seems, my stream disappears from the right. And if it was there, more people would watch the stream. Please, during my Codeforces streams, if you can, also check if it is on the right in Codeforces, and if not, please tell me in the chat. That would be very nice of you. If you don't see my Codeforces streams here on the right, it should be somewhere there, then please tell me. Oh, the link command didn't work for the whole stream. Well, sorry. What was I saying? There is this harbor space contest in 2 days. I'm one of organizers, so I guess that see you just after that contest. Maybe I will make a stream with others to discuss solutions. Went away after I condoned the cheating. I don't want to use you as memory. I want to use you as, I guess, processes that you will do something in the background, right? Don't ask to ask, indeed. All right, so yeah, no more streams, so I'm not raiding anybody. Thank you all for watching. The calendar is there. See you after Harbor Space Contest. And later this week or the next week, I will do Kickstart, some Kickstart round, and I will finish the Tourists Contest. At least I will do 2 more problems. Okay, bye.